Night settles differently over the ocean. It doesn't arrive with abrupt darkness or sudden stillness. Instead, it drifts downward like a slow tide of shadow blue silk, folding itself gently into the waves. The Great Barrier Reef, stretching far beneath that fading light, begins to breathe in a quieter rhythm, as if the world's largest coral ecosystem is exhaling after a long, sunlit day. Colors soften, water cools, tiny creatures emerge with a delicacy that feels made for those who watch with patient eyes. This is where your evening begins. Here, beneath a sky dimming to velvet, your thoughts can loosen the way a wave unfurls across sand. You don't need to study anything tonight, or remember anything, or fix anything. This is a journey that carries itself and gently carries you with it. Welcome to Sleepy Nature Sleep, where the wild grows soft and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts follow the rhythm of the earth, your breathing settle like evening wind, and your mind wander gently through the quiet wild. The world beyond your room may still be humming with unfinished tasks, glowing screens, or the echoes of a long day, but here, in this soft corner of nature, none of that follows you. The ocean asks for nothing. The coral demands nothing. All it offers is space, stillness, a gentle doorway to ease. If these quiet nature journeys bring you comfort, if they help you unwind, drift, or finally fall asleep, you're welcome to join our sleepy little community by liking, subscribing, or leaving a peaceful note. Your support helps this sanctuary of quiet wildlife storytelling continue to grow, one calm night at a time. And if you'd like to help these journeys flow farther into the world, even the smallest gesture of support helps us bring more nature, more quiet, and more rest to those who need it. But there is no pressure. The wild has never hurried anyone, and neither will we. For now, let your breath lengthen, feel your shoulders soften, and imagine yourself drifting just above the reef, weightless, unhurried, wrapped in water clear enough for moonlight to travel through. Tonight, we'll explore the Great Barrier Reef the way it was meant to be experienced. Slowly, gently, with reverence. Not as scientists or divers, but as quiet observers, drifting through an ancient underwater garden. We'll follow the movements of glowing plankton, glide beside patient sea turtles, and listen to the faint chorus of nighttime creatures whispering through the blue. The water is calm, the night is warm, and the reef is ready to tell its story. Every great journey begins with a question, not one that demands an answer, but one that gently opens a doorway in the mind. Tonight's question hides beneath the waves, drifting between coral branches and shimmering sand. What does a reef remember? It may seem like a strange thought at first. A reef is not a person. It doesn't hold memories the way you do, with stories, feelings, recollections tucked away like folded letters. And yet, when you look closely at a coral ecosystem, when you let yourself slow down enough to truly observe, you begin to sense that the reef holds something like memory. Not in the human sense, but in the soft, enduring patterns built over thousands of years. Imagine this. Every polyp, no larger than a grain of rice, adds a tiny layer of calcium carbonate to its home. Day after day, night after night, year after year, those layers form ridges, towers, gardens, and labyrinths, a record of every tide shift, every warm current, every bright season of sunlight. In a way, the reef becomes a diary written not with ink, but with stone and time. Tonight, as you settle deeper into the quiet, consider how nature remembers. The reef remembers storms by the fractures they leave behind, and by the life that grows back stronger afterward. It remembers ancient migrations through the paths carved by countless fins. It remembers the glow of moonlit spawning seasons, repeated faithfully, generation after generation, like a ritual older than language. And maybe, just maybe, you carry memories like that too. The soft ones, the patient ones, the ones that shape you quietly without asking for attention. The memories of growth, rest, and return. As you breathe slowly, let this question drift through your thoughts like a curious fish weaving between coral branches. What does a reef remember? And what do you remember that has shaped you just as gently? There is no need to answer. Questions like this aren't meant to be solved. They are meant to be felt, like cool water around your ankles or a soft breeze against your skin. Tonight, the reef will help you explore this question, not through facts or explanations, but through stories of slow growth, shimmering creatures, ancient rhythms, and the deep intelligence of an ecosystem that has survived longer than the oldest forests. Let your mind float with the tide of curiosity. Let the question settle somewhere soft inside you. For now, simply breathe and drift. Before we wander into the deeper corners of the Great Barrier Reef, it helps to pause and simply look, not with urgency or analysis, but with the calm attention you give to something beautiful just because it exists. Picture the reef from above, a long, uneven band of color stretching across warm ocean water. Some sections glow turquoise, others melt into deep blue, and beneath the waves lies a mosaic of living shapes and shifting shadows. The reef is sometimes called the rainforest of the sea, but even that feels too small. A rainforest sits on solid ground. A reef breathes, sways, shimmers, transforms. It is alive in every direction. Corals rise like underwater mountains. Fish move in drifting clouds. Sea grasses ripple like fields in the wind. Small creatures scurry, glide, pulse, or hover, each following its own unhurried rhythm. If you were to hover above it like a gentle, weightless visitor, the way your imagination lets you float now, you would see that nothing in the reef moves alone. Every motion influences another. When a parrotfish nibbles on coral, it helps shape habitat for someone else. When a school of tiny fish darts around a boulder, predators adjust their patterns in response. When sunlight filters through the surface, it not only warms the water, but nourishes entire worlds beneath it. This is the reef's quiet intelligence, a tapestry woven not with threads, but with relationships. Each species, each stone, each drifting current plays its own soft role in maintaining the balance. And despite its vastness, the reef never rushes. Its movements stretch across minutes, hours, seasons, centuries. Like your own inner world, it expands and contracts with gentle rhythms. So as you listen tonight, let your mind sink into this living tapestry. Let the colors soften your senses. Let the slow, ancient choreography of life beneath the waves invite your thoughts to drift just a little further from the noise of the day. The reef will guide you from here, patiently, quietly, beautifully. If you listen closely, not with your ears, but with your imagination, you can almost hear the soft, steady work of coral. It happens silently, cell by cell, polyp by polyp, as tiny animals build vast underwater cities without haste, without noise, without ever stopping to celebrate their progress. Coral is the reef's architect, the foundation, the ancient builder that makes everything else possible. A coral polyp looks simple at first glance, a small, translucent body with a ring of delicate tentacles. But what it creates is astonishing. Each polyp secretes a bit of calcium carbonate, building a tiny cup-shaped home around itself. Then it divides, forming clones that connect into colonies. Together, they create structures that can rise taller than houses, stretch wider than neighborhoods, and last for centuries. Imagine that for a moment. Something so small, building something so vast, something so fragile, shaping something so enduring. And they do this slowly, beautifully slowly, a few millimeters a year, a pace measured in patience, not speed. There is a kind of comfort in that, a reminder that growth doesn't need to be fast to be meaningful. As you breathe softly, imagine drifting close enough to see the coral's tiny tentacles swaying in the water. They reach outward at night, gathering microscopic food, glowing faintly beneath moonlit currents, thousands of them moving as one, like an underwater field of flowers opening in the dark. Coral does not rush. It simply continues, layer by layer, year by year, shaping a world that millions of creatures depend on. And maybe there is something here for you too. A gentle lesson hidden in the reef's patient architecture. That slow progress is still progress. That tiny steps, taken consistently, can build something remarkable. That even in the quietest seasons of your life, you are forming foundations for something larger than you can yet see. Tonight, as you drift deeper into stillness, let the coral's slow rhythm guide you. Let it remind you that there is no need to hurry. You are already growing, already building, already becoming at your own natural pace. If coral are the architects, then the fish are the painters, adding movement, color, and personality to the reef like brush strokes across a living canvas. Glide your imagination closer, and you'll see flashes of turquoise, gold, violet, and emerald weaving through coral tunnels in open water. Each species brings its own style, its own quiet rhythm to the underwater garden. Parrotfish scrape algae with strong coral sculpting beaks. Angelfish drift in elegant arcs like moving pieces of stained glass. Butterfly fish hover delicately near anemones, their small bodies marked with black stripes that seem almost painted by hand. These creatures don't rush. They move with the natural ease of beings who have never known the concept of time running out. Instead, they follow warm currents, wander through coral corridors, and greet each new patch of reef with playful curiosity. But their beauty is more than decoration. Each fish plays a role in the ecosystem. Each stroke of color has purpose. Parrotfish help clean coral, keeping it free from smothering algae. Grazers prevent overgrowth. Predators maintain balance. Schools of tiny fish provide nutrients through their constant motion. It's a symphony of color and cooperation, one that unfolds slowly, effortlessly, like a dream. As you settle deeper into your evening, imagine these colors drifting through your mind. Let them wash away the sharp edges of the day. Let them soften your thoughts the way water softens sunlight. The fish don't worry about tomorrow's currents. They don't cling to yesterday's tides. They simply swim, present, glowing, peaceful. And tonight, they invite you to do the same. Night in the reef doesn't arrive abruptly. It seeps in gently, the way ink drifts through water, spreading slowly, softening edges, deepening colors, while calming everything it touches. As the sun lowers, its final rays turn the surface into brushed gold, then into muted silver, and finally into a quiet darkness that seems to hum with possibility. Down below, the reef stirs in a new rhythm. Daytime creatures tuck themselves into crevices, coral branches, and sandy hollows. Some shift colors to blend in with the diamonding world. Others simply slow their movements, allowing the night to wash over them like a warm blanket. And then, something magical begins. Tiny sparks appear, faint at first, like fireflies testing their glow. Bioluminescent plankton start to drift upward, releasing soft pulses of blue-green light. Their glow doesn't illuminate the reef the way lanterns light a room. Instead, it whispers through the darkness, flickering gently, more felt than seen. A quiet galaxy beneath the sea. Nocturnal fish glide from their hiding places, their eyes adjusting to the dim. Crustaceans emerge with slow, tapping motions of delicate legs. Feather stars unfurl like underwater stars themselves, stretching out their feathery arms to filter drifting food from the warm currents. Nightfall transforms the reef into something more intimate, a soft, breathing world where every movement feels slower, more deliberate, more serene. If you imagine yourself drifting just above the coral garden, you would feel the temperature drop slightly, like the cool air that brushes your skin when you open a window at dusk. You might sense the water's quiet vibrations, the distant shifting of sands, the gentle pulse of hidden creatures awakening one by one. This is the reef's second life, the one it reveals only when the sun's demands fade and the night's calm settles in. A life built on silence, softness, and subtlety. As you breathe in, imagine the plankton rising. As you breathe out, imagine the reef relaxing beneath you. The night garden grows deeper, darker, but never frightening. Instead, it feels protective. A world where everything moves with purpose, but without urgency. A world that mirrors the slow unclenching of your own thoughts at the end of a long day. In this darkness, the reef is not asleep. It is simply quieter, gentler, more itself. And as you listen, perhaps your mind can follow its lead, sinking deeper into calm, drifting slowly into its own restful night. Some creatures do not rush even when the world around them moves with haste. Sea turtles are among them, calm, ancient travelers carrying the stories of oceans on their broad, gentle backs. When one glides into the reef at night, it feels like watching time itself swim by. Picture a turtle approaching through the dim water. Its silhouette moves with the effortless grace of something that has known the sea longer than entire civilizations. Each stroke is slow, yet powerful. Each glide seems guided by memory, or perhaps by something even older than memory. Turtles navigate using Earth's magnetic field, imprinting the coordinates of their birthplace deep inside themselves. No matter how far they wander, across entire oceans, through storms, past continents, they find their way home with quiet certainty. There is something soothing in that. A reminder that no matter how far we drift in life, there is always a place inside us that knows how to return. As the turtle moves through the night reef, tiny fish weave around it like respectful attendants. The turtle pays them no mind. It simply exists, fully, peacefully, unhurried. It pauses to graze on seagrass, nibbling quietly, then continues its drifting path through corridors of coral that glow faintly with bioluminescence. If you imagine yourself beside it, weightless in the water, your breath slows to match its rhythm. One long inhale, one long exhale. The turtle does not hurry. It has never needed to. Its life is measured in decades, sometimes centuries, and its presence radiates the calm wisdom of something that has learned that time is not a river rushing forward. It is an ocean that expands around you. The turtle finds a sandy patch near a coral shelf, settles gently on the bottom, and rests. Sand shifts softly beneath its shell. Tiny particles drift over its flippers like falling snow. The world becomes still. You can almost hear the ocean exhale. Tonight, the sea turtle reminds you of endurance without strain, of moving forward without force, of trusting your inner compass even when the world feels vast and unknowable. Let its calm guide you. Let its slowness steady you. Let its ancient peace settle quietly into your own breathing. The night continues, but the turtle remains untroubled, and for a moment, so can you. At first, you might not notice them. A faint shimmer, a flicker of silver. Then suddenly, the water around you blooms into motion, a school of fish turning as one, moving like a single fluid shape. It's as if the ocean itself has learned to breathe in a new rhythm. Schools move with astonishing unity. 100, 1,000 individuals, each small, delicate, vulnerable, yet together they become something strong, elegant, and endlessly mesmerizing. Their bodies flash in the moonlit water, forming shapes that shift and dissolve, swirling like silk scarves caught in a gentle current. What guides them? No leader, no commands, just instinct, trust, and an unspoken agreement to move together. Scientists call it collective intelligence, but here, in the quiet of the reef at night, it feels more like a whisper, a shared understanding among creatures who know that life is easier, safer, and more beautiful when lived in harmony. The fish turn left, all turn left. They rise, all rise. They scatter, then reunite in an instant, as if pulled back by an invisible thread. Watching them has the same effect as tracing patterns in sand or following clouds across a twilight sky. Your thoughts begin to flow with them, drifting, swirling, gathering, and softening. The day's worries loosen in the wake of their movement. Imagine floating in the middle of the school, suspended in weightless blue. The fish glide around you without fear. Their scales shimmer like tiny mirrors catching moonlight. Their bodies create soft currents against your skin, cool, calming, rhythmic. In this moment, you're part of their pattern, part of their quiet unity, part of something simple and peaceful. The school drifts toward a coral valley, its movements slowing as the night deepens. Each fish finds its own small refuge among coral branches, within caves or beneath rocky ledges. The whispering motion dissolves into stillness, leaving the water calm again. The lesson remains. You don't have to move alone. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. Even in nature, the smallest beings understand the comfort of shared rhythm, shared motion, shared quiet. Let the school's calm coordination soothe your mind. Let its harmony become part of your breath. Tonight, you drift with them into stillness. Currents are the unseen storytellers of the ocean. They whisper through the reef, carry warmth from distant seas, deliver nutrients to hungry corals, and guide drifting larvae to the places where new life will take root. They move without hurry, yet their influence spans thousands of miles. Imagine a gentle current brushing past you now, cool, steady, reassuring. It wraps around coral towers, slips between sandy ridges, and sways gardens of swaying anemones. Everything responds to it. Everything leans into its touch. Currents shape the reef the way peaceful routines shape your days, subtly, patiently, almost invisibly. A polyp grows where the water brings the most nourishment. A fish migration follows pathways carved by temperature and flow. Even the shape of the coral itself bends in response to the currents that have passed over it for centuries. If the reef holds memory, the currents are the ones who write it. Picture tiny coral larvae drifting along one such current. They are nearly weightless, little more than specks, yet they hold the blueprint for entire structures within them. They rise, fall, tumble gently, carried effortlessly toward the places where they will eventually settle and build. This movement mirrors the way certain experiences carry you forward, often without your awareness. A soft encouragement from someone years ago, a moment of unexpected peace, a memory that resurfaces just when you need it. Currents move slowly, but meaningfully, just like those quiet forces in your life. As the night deepens, the water surrounding the reef cools slightly. The current slows, becoming thicker and more velvety, as though the ocean itself is preparing to rest. Sand settles. Seagrass sways in long, sleepy arcs. Even the bioluminescent glow dims to a gentle pulse. Imagine yourself floating with the current, not resisting, not steering, simply allowing it to carry you the way it has carried life for millions of years. There is no rush, No deadline, no destination needed, just movement, just breath. Just the quiet reminder that you can let go, even for a moment, and allow something larger and gentler to guide you. The current continues its ancient path, and you drift with it, calm, safe, unhurried, into the deeper quiet of the reef's night. If you could shrink yourself until you were no larger than a grain of sand, the reef would become an entirely different world, a vast cityscape of towers, cliffs, valleys, and tiny glowing creatures tending to their homes with astonishing precision. And at the heart of that miniature world, you would find the polyps. Coral polyps are often mistaken for plants, but they are animals, delicate, soft-bodied beings that look like tiny blossoms waving gently in the water. Each one sits inside a small cup-shaped home it builds itself, and each extends a ring of tentacles to catch drifting food when the night grows quiet. By day, polyps remain tucked in, hiding from fish that might nibble at them. But at night, they bloom. Thousands upon thousands of tiny bodies open at once. Tentacles rise like petals unfolding. An entire reef awakens in a slow motion flowering. If you are drifting nearby, you might not see them right away. Their bodies are almost transparent, shimmering faintly in the moonlit blue. But as your eyes adjust, you'd notice subtle movements, soft opening and closing, gentle swaying, patient reaching. The polyps feed by sensing the faintest vibrations in the water. When a drifting particle brushes a tentacle, the polyp folds inward and consumes it. It's such a small action, a tiny gesture in an enormous ocean, yet it sustains entire ecosystems. And their feeding isn't hurried. They take what comes. They reach when they need to. They rest when the water is still. There's a comforting wisdom in that. As the polyps feed, their bodies absorb nutrients and begin the invisible process of building more reef, adding new layers of calcium carbonate, strengthening the structures beneath them. This construction is gradual, almost imperceptible, but constant. It's a reminder that growth often happens quietly, beneath the surface, while the world above simply sees stillness. Tonight, as you listen, imagine the reef blooming beneath you. Not loudly, not dramatically, just gently. Thousands of tiny creatures opening like stars in slow motion. Let their calm rhythm soften your thoughts. Let their quiet perseverance settle in your breath. The secret life of polyps isn't actually loud or mysterious. It's simply patient, a patience that asks nothing of you except to slow down enough to notice. And as the night deepens, the polyps continue their soft dance, tender, steady, ancient, stitching the reef together one tiny movement at a time. Night on the reef brings out a different kind of life, creatures that move with the silence of drifting clouds and the intelligence of seasoned travelers. Among them, the octopus begins its nightly wander. At first, you might see nothing at all, just a ripple in the sand, a shifting blur against a coral wall. Then, slowly, the shape reveals itself, an octopus adapting to the textures around it with uncanny precision. Octopuses are masters of camouflage. Their skin can change color, pattern, and even texture within a heartbeat. One moment, they look like smooth stone, the next like waving algae, the next like nothing at all. They are hunters, yes, but gentle ones. They move with the patience of shadows. They stalk without haste. They explore with curious, intelligent arms that taste the world with every touch. As the octopus glides along the reef floor, it pauses to examine small crevices, feeling with its flexible limbs, sensing vibrations and tiny movements. It is not driven by panic or urgency. It is simply following instinct, slow, steady, precise. Nearby, small nocturnal fish dart cautiously away, their bodies shimmering in the faint glow of bioluminescence. Crabs freeze, unsure whether they've been seen. Feather stars swirl slowly, sensing the octopus's subtle presence. But despite being a predator, the octopus does not disrupt the calm. Its movements blend into the night softness, contributing to the reef's rhythm rather than breaking it. Imagine yourself drifting just above this gentle hunter, watching its arms ripple like liquid silk, watching its body shift from pattern to pattern as if telling stories through its skin. You might feel a sense of awe, but also a peculiar peace. Because here, even the predators move with grace. As the octopus explores, it finds a rocky nook to rest in, folding its arms around itself like a blanket. Its colors fade into calm neutrals. Its breathing steadies. And for a moment, everything in the reef becomes still again. This part of the reef teaches a quiet lesson. That strength doesn't always roar, that intelligence doesn't always rush, and that even in the wildest places, gentleness has its place. Let the octopus's fluid grace ease your mind. Let its quiet confidence settle softly into your thoughts. The night continues, but in the softness of the reef, even shadows feel safe. If the reef had a written language, it would be found not in words or symbols, but in the shimmering scales of the fish that swim through its glowing corridors. Stripes, spots, gradients, flashes of iridescence, each pattern a message from evolution. A quiet poem shaped by survival and beauty over countless generations. Imagine watching a butterfly fish drift past. Its black stripes are not random decoration. They confuse predators by hiding the true location of its eye. A subtle trick, a soft kind of wisdom. Or an angelfish, whose flowing fins ripple like fabric, a design that signals both health and confidence in the dim water. Then there are the parrotfish, painted in bold strokes of turquoise and coral pink, their scales shifting subtly as they age. Each color tells a story of youth, maturity, dominance, or transition. A quiet narrative written on their bodies without a single word spoken. These patterns do more than captivate the eye. They communicate. They warn, they soothe, they attract companionship, they hide secrets. As you drift through this underwater world, imagine each fish brushing past like a page in a shimmering book. Some pages are peaceful, with soft blues and greens blending into gentle gradients. Others are loud with neon stripes, pulsing like underwater lanterns. But all carry the same message. Life expresses itself in countless forms, each shaped by time and necessity. Fish scales shimmer because of microscopic crystal layers that reflect and scatter light. When the moonlight filters through the water, it catches these layers and creates shifting halos of color, like ripples of liquid light swirling across living bodies. In this soft glow, you might feel something inside you relax, as if witnessing beauty without purpose allows your mind to release its grip on the day. Patterns remind you that nothing in nature is random. Not the colors, not the shapes, not the quiet behaviors learned through generations. And just as fish carry these patterns, you carry your own, invisible but deeply present. The habits, memories, and small truths etched into you over years. Some protect you, some guide you, some transform over time, just like the colors on a fish's scales. Tonight, let the shimmer of the reef ease your breathing. Let each drifting body reflect a little more calm into your thoughts. Let the patterns remind you that life unfolds in gentle, meaningful layers, some seen, some unseen. The water remains still. The scales continue their soft glow, and you drift a little deeper into rest. Every night, something ancient and gentle happens across the reef, a migration so small and delicate that it feels like a secret shared only with those who notice. As the sun sets and the water cools, plankton rise from the depths in countless numbers, drifting upward like the tiniest snowfall the ocean has ever seen. They don't swim with force or direction. They simply float, lifted by slow currents, drawn by instinct, guided by rhythms older than any creature alive today. If you look closely, the water becomes filled with specks of faint light, each one glowing softly when touched or disturbed. Some pulse in blue. Others shimmer in pale green. Together, they create an underwater aurora, a luminous cloud that drifts above coral valleys and along sandy slopes. This nightly ascent feeds the reef. Filter feeders open their feather-like arms. Polyps extend their tentacles. Tiny fish hover with open mouths, catching particles carried by the soft current. The water becomes thick with life, not dramatic, not chaotic, but quietly abundant. Imagine yourself floating in the middle of this gentle snowfall. Particles drift past your skin, some glowing for a moment before fading. The current brushes softly around you. The water feels warm, embracing, soothing. Plankton are the base of the ocean's food web, but they move with surprising grace. Their tiny motions create ripple-like flickers that catch moonlight and sparkle for an instant, like stars appearing underwater. Their rise is not rushed. Their glow is not forced. They simply follow the rhythm of night and day, moving when it is time, resting when it is not. There's a deep comfort in that rhythm, a reminder that nature operates on cycles, not deadlines. That nourishment doesn't always come from effort, but sometimes from simply being carried by the flow. As more plankton rise, the reef becomes a drifting galaxy of tiny lights. Fish move through them like shadows. Coral branches sway gently under the weight of the night, and you drift quietly within this ancient migration, feeling the water's soft embrace and the peaceful certainty that everything here knows when to rise, when to glow, and when to rest. Let the plankton's calm ascent guide your own thoughts upward, slow, gentle, effortless. The night deepens. The ocean breathes, and the reef continues its soft, glowing dream. If you could travel backward through time, not in leaps of years, but in slow dissolving layers, the Great Barrier Reef would reveal itself as a monument built not by hands, but by patience. What looks like solid stone is, in truth, the accumulated effort of billions of tiny creatures stacked upon one another over millennia. These formations are the mountains of the ocean, older than many coasts, older than human memory, shaped grain by grain. Imagine drifting downward toward one of these immense coral ridges. Its surface appears rugged, textured, carved by time and tides. Small fish weave in and out of crevices as if the structure were a city built precisely to their scale. Sponges cling to the walls like ancient tapestries. Soft corals sway gently at the edges like trees leaning into a breeze. Every ridge, bump, and cavity is a story. This section may have grown during a warm century of plentiful sunlight. Another may have formed after a great storm shattered older branches, making room for new growth. Some towers have survived countless cycles of bleaching and renewal, holding the echo of past hardships in their pale scars. And yet, despite everything, they continue to rise. Coral mountains don't grow with urgency. They don't chase anything. Their progress is measured in millimeters per year, slow enough that a human lifetime is just a blink in their chronology. But that slowness is not weakness. It is resilience, strength, persistence that does not need speed to prove its worth. As you imagine yourself gliding along these underwater cliffs, you might notice tiny shapes tucked into sheltered corners, brittle stars, tiny crabs, shy gobies. Each finds sanctuary in the ridges of this living architecture. The coral doesn't notice their presence, yet it shelters them all the same. There is something comforting in knowing that nature provides refuge without intention or demand. The reef simply exists, offering safety by virtue of its form, its age, its calm endurance. As the night deepens, the coral mountains seem to darken into silhouettes, grand shapes rising from the ocean floor like ancient guardians. Their stillness becomes a kind of lullaby, steady and grounding. Let their patience become your patience. Let their strength settle into your breath. Let their quiet endurance gently remind you that growth, healing, and change often happen slowly, beneath the surface, without applause. And as you drift along the coral's ancient face, the mountains keep their silent watch, steady, unmoving, eternal in their rhythm. Even though night has settled over the reef, sunlight still lingers in memory. Earlier in the day, it would have poured through the surface like liquid gold, breaking into shimmering beams as it passed through shifting waves. Those beams nourished the reef, not by force, but by gentle, filtered radiance. Picture the morning light entering the water. It bends, softens, breaks into ribbons that sway like silky curtains. The beams drift downward, scattering into blues and greens, illuminating coral towers, sandy floors, and shimmering fish. For the reef, sunlight is more than illumination. It is food, energy, warmth wrapped in color. Zooxanthellae, the tiny algae living inside coral polyps, drink that light like a long, refreshing breath. They convert it into nutrients, feeding the coral that gives them shelter, a partnership so ancient and so peaceful that it sustains the entire reef. Even now, in the quiet of the night, the afterglow remains. The coral holds the day's warmth in its stony body. The fish rest in places that only hours earlier were bathed in gold. The water still carries faint traces of heat along the currents. And if you close your eyes, you might imagine drifting through those sunlit beams, weightless, warm, enveloped in soft radiance. You might remember the feeling of standing in sunlight yourself, the way it rests on your skin, the way it softens your shoulders, the way it brings quiet comfort without asking for anything in return. Nature has always understood how to give without urgency. As the reef transitions from day to night, the last rays bend further and further until they break apart completely, leaving only the memory of color beneath the waves. But even that memory has its own beauty, a lingering echo that hums beneath the surface. Tonight, let that memory be enough. Let the image of sunlight through water warm the edges of your thoughts. Let it loosen whatever tension remains in your shoulders, your jaw, your breath. Tomorrow, the sun will return, rising over the reef with the same steady rhythm it has kept for millions of years. But for now, its golden glow rests gently in the water's memory and in yours. Allow that softness to settle over you, a quiet, fading warmth, a reminder that even when the light dims, it leaves peace behind. Beyond the edges of the reef, where coral gardens fade into the deeper, open blue, some of the ocean's most graceful travelers glide effortlessly through the water. Reef sharks, trevallies, pelagic fish that wander far beyond the boundaries of any one habitat. They move like shadows carved from moonlight, smooth, certain, unhurried. Imagine watching a reef shark approach, not with fear, for sharks are far gentler than their reputation suggests, but with awe. Its body sways in a slow rhythm, tail sweeping left and right, propelling it forward with quiet confidence. It does not rush. It simply follows a path written into the water long before it was born. Scientists believe these animals navigate using senses we can barely comprehend. Subtle shifts in magnetic fields, faint chemical trails, internal maps shaped by ancestral migration routes. They feel the ocean the way a bird feels the wind. As the shark passes, smaller fish glide respectfully aside, acknowledging the calm authority of its presence. The shark does not give chase. It does not dominate. It simply moves, a steady traveler maintaining the balance of the ecosystem with its very existence. Further out, trevallies dart past like silver flashes, quick yet controlled, as though practicing a dance perfected over millennia. They weave toward the reef, then away again, tracing invisible lines in the open blue. If you drift with them, you might feel what they feel. the water against your skin, the slow rhythm of waves above you, the steady internal compass that asks for nothing more than to follow the next gentle curve of the sea. These navigators embody quiet confidence, the kind that does not need to hurry or shout, the kind that knows its path even when the world around it changes shape. As night deepens, the open blue becomes darker, but not empty. Shadows move with purpose. Shapes glide in silence. The ocean carries its travelers forward with tender certainty. Let their calm direction become your own tonight. Let the idea of knowing where you are, even without seeing every step ahead, guide you into rest. The navigators of the open blue drift onward. And for these moments, so do you. Though it may appear still from a distance, the reef is always breathing, not with lungs or air, but with the graceful exchange of gases, the rhythm of water flowing through coral branches, the slow pulsation of life rising and falling in steady cycles. Imagine drifting just above the reef at night. You feel a subtle pull, then a gentle push, as if the entire ecosystem inhales and exhales in time with the ocean's heartbeat. Corals exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide through their tissues. Plankton rise and fall. Seagrass meadows sway back and forth in calm synchrony. Fish move through the water column in patterns that repeat with the fidelity of breath. This rhythm is so quiet that you might miss it at first. But if you slow your thoughts, if you soften your attention, you begin to sense it. A pulse in the water, a whisper in the current, a subtle harmony connecting everything that lives here. The reef breathes not for survival alone, but as part of a larger cycle, one that has pulsed through the ocean for millions of years. Every movement, every exchange, every gentle shift of the tides contributes to this ancient respiration. As you watch, polyps sway slightly in the current. Sea fans ripple like soft lungs expanding. Schools of tiny fish rise and fall like drifting breaths. You might notice your own breathing syncing with the water around you. Slow in, slow out, a quiet matching of rhythms. And maybe that's the quiet gift the reef offers tonight, a reminder that breath is the foundation of calm, that life moves in cycles, not sharp edges, that rest comes not from control, but from gentle, steady flow. As the night deepens, the reef continues its soft respiration, a lullaby of motion and stillness woven together. The water's pulse becomes your pulse, the reef's calm becomes your calm. In this shared rhythm, thought loosens, tension dissolves, the mind drifts, and you breathe slowly, peacefully, with the living reef beneath you. Beneath the sweeping coral towers and among the wide, shifting plains of the reef lies a quieter world, a place of tiny movements, delicate burrows, and creatures whose work happens almost entirely out of sight. These are the sand dwellers, the subtle engineers of the seafloor. At first, you might think nothing is happening down there, just smooth ripples of sand shaped by passing currents, a few scattered shells, a soft shimmer where moonlight diffuses through the water. But look closer. Beyond the surface calm, a bustling hidden city emerges. Small crabs scuttle sideways across the sandy floor, leaving intricate trails behind them. Gobies poke their heads out of tiny burrows, their bright eyes scanning the water for danger. Pistol shrimp work tirelessly, snapping their oversized claws to clear debris from their tunnel openings, the sound surprisingly loud, yet still somehow soothing in the muffled water. Each burrow is a miniature home, a safe place, a shelter that protects entire families of creatures. Some tunnels twist deep into the sand. Some connect multiple chambers. Some are shared by unlikely partners, like the goby and the shrimp, who live together in mutual trust. The shrimp, nearly blind, keeps the burrow clean and strong. The goby, with its keen eyesight, watches for predators. When danger approaches, the goby signals with a quick flick of its tail, and both retreat into safety. This tiny cooperation plays out thousands of times each night. Imagine floating gently above this miniature world. The sand ripples beneath you like a giant living tapestry. Little puffs of sediment rise here and there as creatures shift, clean, or dig. Every movement is soft, no rush. No noise beyond the steady hush of water. The sand dwellers teach a quiet lesson. That important work doesn't always look grand. That stability often comes from those who labor unseen. That even the smallest beings contribute to the vastness of the reef. As the night deepens, the creatures grow calmer. Many retreat into their burrows, sealing entrances with grains of sand. Others remain half visible, rocking slightly with the movement of water. The seafloor becomes a mosaic of tiny resting beings. Let the softness of this hidden world soothe you. Let the miniature patterns lull your mind into stillness. You don't need to be large to matter. You don't need to be fast to make progress. You can find your place, just as these tiny architects have found theirs, quietly shaping their corner of the world, one grain at a time. Far above the sandy floor, in the open water near the reef's edge, a different kind of beauty drifts into the scene. Creatures so delicate and translucent that they seem made of nothing but moonlight and motion. Jellyfish, comb jellies, soft-bodied drifters that glow in the dim water like floating lanterns. Imagine one drifting toward you now. Its bell pulses slowly, gently, like a heartbeat. With each pulse, it rises a little, then floats downward again, carried by the current. If you look closely, you might see faint lines of iridescent light rippling across its body, colors shifting like a rainbow trapped inside glass. Jellyfish don't swim with intention. They drift. They follow the water's path, moving where the currents guide them. They are, in a way, the poets of the ocean, expressing beauty, not through action, but through presence. Nearby, a comb jelly pulses with even softer energy. Its body is oval, clear, delicate. Rows of tiny cilia flicker like strings of holiday lights, catching even the faintest glimmers of bioluminescence. These creatures refract light in ways that make the water shimmer around them, a gentle spectacle, neither loud nor dramatic. As you drift among these glowing beings, the world feels slower, like time itself has stopped to admire their calm. They hold no fear, no rush, no struggle. In their world, There is only drifting, quiet acceptance of whatever direction the water carries them. And strangely, this acceptance feels peaceful, reassuring, like a reminder that sometimes letting go can bring its own kind of grace. Jellyfish have survived for hundreds of millions of years, their bodies unchanged in all that time. Their secret is simplicity, a way of being that relies not on control, but on flow. Tonight, imagine floating with them. Your thoughts lighten, your breath slows, your body feels supported by the water around you. Every pulse of the jellyfish becomes an echo of your own heart, steady, calm, gentle. The drifters glow a little brighter when touched by plankton or brushed by waves, then dim again as they continue their slow dance. The reef watches silently, bathed in soft blue darkness, as these ancient beings illuminate the water like quiet stars. Let their glow ripple into your mind. Let their softness settle over your thoughts. Let their drifting guide you toward deeper stillness. Beneath the calm surface of the ocean, sound travels farther, deeper, and clearer than it does in air. The reef is filled with tiny noises, the click of shrimp, the rustle of sand. But beyond these, in the open blue, larger voices carry across vast distances. Dolphins are among the most familiar, but at night, their calls sound different, softer, more melodic, as though they too are settling into a gentler rhythm. Imagine hearing them now, a series of soft whistles, a gentle click, then a distant, wavering note that seems to stretch through the entire ocean. These aren't random sounds. They are conversations, maps, lullabies woven from sonar and emotion. Dolphins navigate through darkness using echoes, sending out gentle pulses of sound and listening for replies as they bounce off coral, sand, or distant fish. To them, the ocean is a symphony of reflections. Every returning sound paints a picture: the shape of a reef, the curve of a rock, the presence of another animal. And yet, their voices aren't only practical. Dolphins call to comfort each other. They hum to newborn calves. They exchange greetings, warnings, and occasionally something that sounds very much like laughter. Farther away, you might hear the low, rumbling call of a distant whale, a sound so deep it seems to vibrate through your bones. These slow, powerful notes can travel across entire ocean basins, echoing like the heartbeat of the sea itself. But even these mighty voices maintain a softness at night. The dark calms everything. Even the giants whisper. Imagine yourself floating in this underwater chorus. The sounds wrap around you, warm, comforting, resonant. You don't need to understand the meaning. You can simply feel the texture of the sound, like a soft blanket woven from echoes. The water vibrates gently. The reef listens, and you listen too. There is peace in knowing that communication doesn't always require words. That connection can be felt rather than spoken. That sometimes a quiet presence is enough. As the night deepens, the voices grow fainter, spacing out into long silences punctuated by soft calls. The ocean becomes a vast, echoing chamber of calm. Let the dolphins' gentle voices soothe you. Let the distant whale song anchor you. Let the underwater quiet hum through you like a lullaby. The reef rests, the voices drift, and you settle deeper into the night. Though the ocean surface shows no sign of rain, a quiet storm unfolds each night in the water below. A rain made not of droplets, but of drifting particles known as marine snow. It begins with a slow descent. Tiny fragments of plankton, small bits of calcium, organic confetti from the open water above. Each piece catches a hint of moonlight as it falls, glowing faintly before fading back into darkness. Marine snow is one of the ocean's most peaceful spectacles. It drifts like ash from a distant fire, settling gently onto the reef, nourishing creatures that wait patiently below. Imagine floating in the middle of this gentle underwater snowfall. The water feels thick with softness. Particles drift past your face at a steady, unhurried pace. Each speck moves independently, yet contributes to a larger rhythm, a quiet, perpetual cycling of life from the surface to the sea floor. Filter feeders, sponges, corals, tube worms extend their delicate structures to catch the falling nutrients. Their movements are small, almost imperceptible, yet essential to the reef's survival. As more snow falls, the seafloor begins to shimmer with a faint, scattered glow, not bright, not sharp, just a soft, dotted tapestry that flickers in the moonlit water like distant stars. This nightly rain reminds you that even in the deepest calm, there is motion. That nourishment can come from above, slowly and quietly. That life often arrives in tiny pieces rather than grand waves. If you hold still in the water, you may notice how the falling particles blur your sense of time. Minutes stretch, thoughts soften. Your body feels suspended, not fallen, not rising, just drifting among the snow. It is peaceful here, safe, silent except for the soft whisper of water shifting around you. Let the marine snow settle gently onto your thoughts. Let each drifting particle symbolize something small you can release, a worry, a tension, a noise from your day. Let them fall away into the deep. The reef receives the snow without expectation, without urgency, and transforms it into life. And as you float here, in the quiet rain beneath the sea, the night grows deeper, softer, and more still around you. In the hush of the reef's nighttime quiet, a small but essential ritual begins, one built on trust, cooperation, and the gentle intelligence of creatures who understand that survival is a shared practice. These are the cleaners of the reef, tiny shrimp and small, brightly colored cleaner wrasse, who play one of the most delicate roles in the ecosystem. Imagine approaching a small coral outcrop where a cleaning station is set up. Larger fish, groupers, parrotfish, surgeonfish, hover patiently, sometimes even changing colors to signal their readiness. They tilt their bodies, open their gills, or extend their fins, offering themselves to much smaller species who approach with careful, practiced confidence. A cleaner shrimp climbs along the body of a fish many times its size, picking off parasites with dainty motions. A cleaner wrasse darts in and out of gill slits, removing dead skin and tiny irritants. The larger fish remain perfectly still, allowing these fragile helpers to do their work. There is no fear here, no haste, just a mutual understanding. I help you. You help me. And together, we make this world easier to live in. These moments of trust feel strangely tender, even more so at night when the reef quiets and each movement feels amplified in the calm. Picture a shrimp perched elegantly on a grouper's snout, its long antennae waving softly as it cleans. The fish closes its eyes, relaxing into the sensation. For a moment, even the ocean seems to pause to witness this simple exchange of care. If you drift closer, you'll notice something else. These cleaning stations are also places of social gathering. Small fish wait their turn. Some watch curiously. Others swim gentle circles, enjoying the currents created by the activity. It is a tiny world of order and cooperation amid the vastness of the sea. As you watch the cleaners move with patient expertise, perhaps you feel a soft reminder settling into your thoughts that even the smallest acts of care matter, that even tiny moments of connection help sustain a larger whole, and that sometimes offering or accepting help is a natural part of being alive. The cleaners finish their work. The larger fish drift away, calmer and healthier. The shrimp and wrasse return to their coral perches, antennae swaying, waiting for the next visitor. Let their gentle cooperation soothe you. Let their delicate trust ease the weight of your own day. Here, in the quiet blue, helping is simply part of the rhythm, steady, calm, unburdened. Rain has many forms. Sometimes it falls from clouds in silver streaks. Sometimes it gathers on leaves before dripping softly onto the ground. And sometimes, in the quietest hours of the ocean's night, it drifts downward, not as water at all, but as something far more delicate, a rain of life, a rain beneath the sea. Marine snow is the name scientists give to it, but the phrase hardly captures its tenderness. These drifting particles, tiny fragments of plankton, bits of algae, microscopic traces of life that lived in the sunlit world above, begin their gentle descent as night deepens. Each piece falls slowly, moving with such softness that it seems more like floating than falling. Imagine yourself drifting through the open water near the reef. At first, the sea looks empty, a smooth expanse of blue darkness. But as your eyes adjust, you begin to notice flecks of pale shimmer around you, as if the water were filling with softly glowing dust. Particles drift past your face. Some catch the moonlight filtering from above. Others glow faintly with their own bioluminescence, tiny lanterns descending through the quiet dark. This snow does not fall in a straight line like rain on land. It meanders, it sways, it dances gently as the currents guide it. Each piece takes its time, unhurried, unbothered, simply moving toward the seafloor with the ease of a dream. For the creatures of the reef, this rain is a blessing. Feather stars unfurl their arms, filtering the water with delicate motions. Soft corals sway, catching nutrients as the snow drifts by. Sponges and tube worms extend their tiny structures, gathering the falling particles like a quiet nighttime feast. It is nourishment delivered not with thunder or force, but with patience. As you hover in the middle of this underwater snowfall, the world feels suspended. Gravity seems softer here. Time loosens its grip. The falling snow blurs the edges of everything. Coral shapes become silhouettes, fish become soft shadows, and the boundary between your body and the water begins to dissolve. You breathe slowly. You feel held by the quiet, and the falling snow continues, gentle and unending. There is something deeply comforting about this rain beneath the sea. It reminds you that much of life happens quietly. Growth can arrive grain by grain, not in great floods. Nourishment can come from small, unexpected places, and rest, real rest, often appears when you allow your world to slow down. Let this snowfall surround you. Let it soften whatever remains sharp inside your mind. Let each drifting speck carry away a worry, a tension, a noise from your day. The reef accepts this gentle rain without effort, and tonight you can too. Water remembers in ways that are not personal, but elemental. It remembers through currents, through temperature, through the paths it carves and the life it carries. The reef, surrounded by this ever-moving world, holds the imprints of water's long stories, the warm seasons that fed it, the storms that reshaped it, the migrations that danced above it. Imagine drifting beside a coral tower, your body rising and falling with the slow pulse of the tide. You can feel the water's history, even without seeing it, in its warmth, its gentle sway, the nutrients it carries from places far beyond the horizon. Every current is a memory in motion, a whisper from another part of the ocean, a soft message from distant shores. Some currents are warm, flowing from tropical regions and carrying plankton that nourish coral polyps. Others are cool, sweeping in from deeper waters, bringing nutrients that enrich the ecosystem in quieter, subtler ways. The reef responds to each current. It bends, it adjusts, it grows according to what the water brings. Life here is a constant conversation between coral and current, a slow exchange of gift and response. As you drift, imagine placing your hand gently into the flow. Feel how the water wraps around you, how it guides without pushing, how it holds stories in its temperature, its salinity, its slow, unbroken movement. Water also remembers shapes. It learns the contours of the reef, flowing around every ridge and valley. Over centuries, it carves gentle pathways, smoothing rough edges, deepening channels, softening stone. You might think of your own life, how experiences, emotions, and the quiet passing of time carve pathways inside you. Some soft, some deep, all shaping who you are in ways you may not always notice. Tonight, the water invites you to let your thoughts drift the way currents drift through coral mazes, without force, without urgency, carrying only what needs to move, leaving the rest to rest. The water remembers, and the reef, in its own quiet way, remembers too. Let that shared memory wrap around you as you drift further into calm. In the world above the ocean, movement is often mistaken for progress. Stillness can feel like pause, or waiting, or even falling behind. But in the reef, stillness is a kind of intelligence, a survival strategy practiced by countless creatures who know that calm can be just as powerful as motion. Imagine hovering near a patch of coral. where small creatures settle for the night. A lionfish hangs motionless, its ornate fins spread like delicate fans. A camouflaged stonefish rests on the sandy floor, blending so perfectly into its surroundings that it seems carved from the reef itself. Even certain crabs tuck themselves into crevices, their bodies perfectly still except for the soft sway of hair-like filaments sensing the water. Stillness is not inactivity here. It is awareness, listening, blending, conserving energy, waiting for the right moment, not rushing toward it. The reef thrives on balance. For every creature that moves with speed, another waits in perfect silence. For every coral that grows steadily upward, another simply holds its place, filtering the water around it with quiet efficiency. Imagine the sensation of stillness underwater. The water cushions you, holding you in place even as currents move past. Your body feels weightless, suspended in a moment that requires nothing from you. Your heartbeat slows. Your thoughts soften. This is the intelligence of stillness, knowing that rest is not the opposite of progress, but part of it. Knowing that stillness creates clarity. Knowing that waiting can be a form of strength. As night deepens, the reef becomes even quieter. Large fish retreat to sheltered spaces. Small invertebrates cling gently to coral branches. Even the polyps, now fed and glowing faintly, sway more slowly. You drift among them, sharing their calm. In this still underwater world, you remember that your worth is not measured by how fast you move, how much you do, or how many waves you make. Sometimes your greatest wisdom comes when you simply pause and breathe. Let the reef's stillness settle into your chest. Let it clear space in your mind. Let it remind you that rest, true rest, is part of nature's design. Tonight, stillness is not quiet. It is intelligent. It is needed. It is enough. Adaptation is nature's way of writing poetry, not with words, but with shapes, colors, instincts, and quiet resilience. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most eloquent examples of this living poetry, a place where every creature has learned to adjust to its world with grace rather than force. Imagine drifting above a coral garden where staghorn branches rise like delicate antlers. Their shapes are not random. They grew that way so that sunlight can slip between them, reaching the algae living within each polyp. This coiled partnership, coral and algae, is adaptation in its purest form. Two beings supporting each other so completely that their survival becomes a shared rhythm. Nearby, butterfly fish glide with flattened bodies designed to slip easily between coral branches. Their bright stripes aren't merely decoration. They confuse predators, giving these gentle fish a chance to escape danger through illusion rather than speed. Even the reef's most dramatic colors serve practical purposes. Some fish use glowing blues and yellows to declare territory. Others use muted browns to melt into backgrounds. Some species change color entirely depending on their mood, health, or stage of life, a living mood ring drifting through the ocean. Every adaptation is a soft lesson, a reminder that change does not always need to be loud or painful. Sometimes it happens quietly, slowly, shaped by time rather than effort. As you drift deeper into the reef, you might see a sea cucumber stretching along the sandy floor. Its strange, almost alien shape is perfect for filtering nutrients from sediment. What looks unusual to us is perfectly elegant in the context of its world. And then there are species that adapt not by changing themselves, but by changing the world around them. Parrotfish, for example, chew coral and excrete fine white sand, shaping beaches with every meal. Their adaptation becomes a gift to shorelines far beyond the reef. Tonight, as you watch these beings exist in total harmony with their surroundings, you might feel a quiet recognition that adaptation in your own life has shaped you too, that the challenges you faced have sculpted resilience you may not always see, that you, like the creatures of the reef, have adjusted to currents stronger than you expected and continue to grow anyway. Let the poetry of adaptation settle gently in your mind. Let it remind you that evolution, personal or ecological, is a process of patience, not perfection. The reef offers no judgment, only examples, only quiet beauty shaped by time. On land, seasons are marked by falling leaves, migrating birds, or the warmth returning after winter. But underwater, the seasons unfold differently, not in colors of trees, but in currents, temperatures, and quiet cycles of life that rise and fall through the shifting blue. Imagine drifting over the reef throughout an entire year. In the warmer months, warm currents sweep across the coral gardens, feeding them with sunlight and stirring plankton blooms. Fish become more active, colors brighten, and the reef hums with vibrant motion. In cooler months, the water calms, temperatures drop slightly, slowing certain processes but awakening others. Big migrations begin. Reef sharks drift closer to the slopes, rays glide into deeper channels, and schools of fish move with deliberate, organized grace. And then there's the most magical seasonal event of all, the coral spawning. Once a year, timed with lunar cycles, water temperatures, and internal clocks older than human civilization, the entire reef releases clouds of tiny eggs and sperm into the water. It happens all at once, a synchronized bloom, a snow of new beginnings drifting upward in soft pink and white clouds. It is one of the ocean's greatest spectacles, yet it unfolds in total silence. No thunder, no fanfare, just the gentle upward drift of millions of tiny hopes. As you imagine this moment, let yourself feel the awe of such ancient timing, of an entire ecosystem breathing together, rising together, renewing itself together. Even outside of spawning season, subtle changes mark the underwater year. Certain fish grow brighter colors during courtship. Algae patterns shift with available sunlight. Seagrass meadows sway in slightly different rhythms depending on the season's currents. Nothing in the reef stays static. Everything moves in cycles. Everything ebbs and flows in time with forces far greater than itself. And perhaps that's the quiet lesson the reef offers tonight. You too move through seasons. Seasons of growth, seasons of rest, times when you bloom, times when you gather strength. Not every season demands action. Some simply ask you to be present, to drift, breathe, and trust that your own rhythms will guide you forward. Let the slow pulse of the underwater seasons soothe you. Let it remind you that life unfolds not in straight lines, but in gentle circles. Here, in the shifting blue, you are part of that cycle too. The reef is full of relationships, some obvious, others hidden, all woven together in subtle, beautiful ways. Cooperation is not rare here. It is foundational. A quiet language spoken between species, allowing the ecosystem to flourish with far less conflict than one might imagine. Imagine drifting above a small coral head. You see a moray eel resting in its crevice. Beside it, a cleaner shrimp dances gently, offering to pick parasites from the eel's skin. The eel opens its mouth, a gesture that might seem threatening on land, but here it is a sign of trust, a silent agreement. Move slightly deeper into the reef's shadows, and you might witness something even more extraordinary. Two different species hunting together. A grouper swims slowly above the coral. Below, an octopus glides across the sand. The two communicate with subtle motions, a flick of a fin, a ripple of color. The grouper pushes prey out of hiding. The octopus blocks escape routes. They share the catch. They share the effort. They share the quiet understanding that cooperation brings abundance. This partnership isn't taught. It isn't planned. It simply exists because the reef knows that gentle collaboration makes life easier in a world shaped by tides and time. Even tiny creatures join in cooperative rhythms. Clownfish tend to anemones, protecting them from intruders. In return, the anemone offers shelter, safety, and a world of soft flowing tentacles. Corals depend on algae. Fish depend on coral. Crabs depend on algae. And all depend on the reef's patient, enduring structure. There is no negotiation, no force, just a woven tapestry of mutual benefit that is held for millions of years. As you drift through this world of quiet companionship, perhaps you feel a soft recognition that the gentle support of others, a kind word, a listening ear, a shared moment, shapes your life too. The reef doesn't shame its inhabitants for needing help. It doesn't glorify independence. It simply exists in a web of shared survival, shared comfort, shared balance. Let that idea settle into you. Let it remind you that connection is natural, that leaning on others is part of being alive, that cooperation, even in small ways, makes the world gentler. In the stillness of the reef's night, every partnership continues quietly, peacefully, letting life unfold with grace instead of struggle. In the reef, endings and beginnings are intertwined, not as opposites, but as partners in an ancient cycle that keeps life flowing forward. Here, nothing is wasted. Nothing disappears completely. Every loss becomes nourishment for something new. Imagine drifting over a patch of coral that is bleached, its once bold colors now pale, its polyps stressed by changes in temperature. At first, the sight may seem sorrowful, but look closer. Small algae begin to settle on the weakened structure. Tiny fish dart through openings that didn't exist before. Crabs scrape along the surface, cleaning and clearing. Even in its fragile state, the coral becomes a foundation for new life. A little farther on, You may find a coral colony that is fully recovered, new polyps growing in branching patterns where old ones once fell away. Regrowth doesn't mirror loss, it transforms it. The reef doesn't rebuild the past, it creates something new. The same is true for the creatures that live here. A parrotfish's discarded scales feed microorganisms. A jellyfish at the end of its life dissolves into nutrients that nourish anemones. The shells of tiny mollusks settle into the sand, gradually becoming part of the seafloor itself. Everything returns to the cycle with softness. As you float in the calm water, the reef's wisdom begins to settle inside you. That endings are not failures, not punishments, not voids. They are transitions, spaces where new rhythms can begin. Nature doesn't rush to fill these spaces. It allows them to breathe, to rest, to invite new forms of life in their own time. And perhaps in your own life, there are endings that felt sharp or heavy. Moments where the world seemed to quiet in ways you didn't choose. But even those spaces, like the gaps in the coral, can become openings for something unexpected, something softer, something wiser, something new. Let the reef's quiet acceptance soothe you. Let it remind you that letting go is part of the cycle, that renewal often arrives gently, without fanfare, that beginnings grow from places once touched by change. Life here does not fear endings, it welcomes them with patience. And tonight, drifting through the reef's rhythmic breathing, you might feel that same patience within yourself. Growth is often imagined as something visible, a sudden change, a dramatic shift, a burst of progress that can be measured and celebrated. But in the reef, growth is almost invisible. It moves at the pace of ocean rhythms, measured not in days or weeks, but in years, decades, centuries. Imagine drifting close to a coral branch no larger than your forearm. It took years to grow that much. Quiet, patient years in which the coral simply continued its slow expansion, layer by layer, molecule by molecule, without ever questioning its pace. Growth here is not rushed. It does not compare itself to the branch beside it. It does not push or strain. It simply follows its internal rhythm, a steady unfolding. Even creatures that appear to remain unchanged are growing in subtle ways. A giant clam widens its shell by millimeters each year, its vibrant mantle glowing with colors shaped by tiny algae living within. Seagrass meadows expand across the sandy floor with gentle creeping steps, their blades swaying softly in currents older than memory. Sponges enlarge slowly, quietly filtering the water with dedicated stillness. None of them hurry. None of them force their growth. And yet, over time, they transform the landscape. As you hover beside these beings of the reef, you might begin to feel a soft recognition. How often your own growth has happened quietly, beneath the surface, without applause. How many small adjustments, small acts of patience, small efforts have reshaped you more deeply than the big dramatic moments ever could? The serenity of slow growth teaches a gentle truth, that becoming does not require pressure, that progress does not need urgency, that life unfolds best when it is allowed to take the time it needs. Imagine the coral polyp, no larger than a grain of sand, adding just a whisper of limestone to its home each night. It does not worry about building the largest structure or finishing on time. It simply gives what it can. And over centuries, its quiet consistency becomes a world. Tonight, let that slow rhythm settle into your breathing. Let the idea of unhurried growth soften the edges of your thoughts. Let yourself rest in the knowing that you are growing, even now, in ways too gentle to see. The reef does not rush, and neither must you. Home is not always a single place. In the reef, home is a rhythm, a returning, a cycle that draws creatures back to where they first began, or to where they feel safest, or simply to where the currents guide them with a sense of familiarity that needs no explanation. Imagine a sea turtle, miles from shore, turning slowly in the open blue and beginning its long journey home. It does not navigate by sight alone. It feels its way through magnetic fields, guided by instincts imprinted from the moment it first entered the water. No matter how far it travels, something within it knows when it is time to return. Fish exhibit this same quiet pull. Schools rise and fall along the reef slopes, returning to familiar crevices where they spent the earliest days of their lives. Eels remember the scent of specific coral formations, weaving their way back with uncanny precision. Even tiny plankton drift toward ancestral spawning grounds, following cues encoded in their fragile bodies. Home, to them, is not a place of possession. It is a place of comfort, a place of rhythm, a place where the water feels just right. As you drift through the reef, you may notice how every creature has its own version of returning. Some return daily, like parrotfish who tuck themselves into coral hideouts each night. Some return seasonally, like rays who glide back to warm shallows when the currents shift. Some return only once in a lifetime, like salmon or turtles who make epic journeys to the beaches where they were born. This instinct to return is not about going backward. It's about reconnecting, re-grounding, realigning with the quiet truth of where life began. Perhaps you feel this in your own way too. The places, memories, or moments you return to for comfort or clarity. The sounds that calm you. The routines that steady you. The people who feel like warm water after a long swim through the cold. The reef teaches that returning home is not a retreat. It is a renewal, a remembering of your deeper rhythms. As night deepens across the coral gardens, many creatures settle into their familiar spaces. The reef quiets, the currents soften, and the whole underwater world seems to breathe in a single, shared exhale, a collective feeling of home settling over the night. Let that sense of returning wash over you. Let it remind you that you carry places of safety within you, places you can drift back to whenever you need them. In the calm of the reef's night, you are already home. We have traveled far through the reef's night, drifting beside ancient coral, glowing drifters, silent hunters, and cooperative partners woven together in a living tapestry. And now, as the journey begins its slow return toward rest, the question from the beginning rises again, quietly. like a ripple remembering its origin. What does a reef remember? Not as a puzzle to be solved, but as a soft echo threading itself back into your awareness. Drift now above the coral gardens, where the water has grown darker, but also calmer. The plankton have settled deeper. The crabs are tucked into burrows. Even the fish that darted so energetically earlier now move like drifting leaves. The entire reef feels as though it has inhaled deeply and is holding that breath in a moment of suspended calm. In this stillness, you sense the weight of time differently. The coral beneath you holds the history of storms that carved new paths through its branches. It holds the patterns of currents that brought nourishment year after year. It holds the rhythms of migrations, spawning cycles, and seasons, repeated so faithfully that they have become part of its structure. The reef remembers through its survival, through its scars, through the new growth that rises from old foundations. And you, drifting quietly above it, begin to recognize how you carry memory too, not just in your thoughts, but in your breath, your posture, the gentle ways you've learned to adapt and continue. Your body remembers stress, but it also remembers safety. It remembers moments of calm, moments of kindness, moments of renewal. Tonight, in this soft underwater dark, you are allowed to hold only the gentlest of these memories. Imagine placing one hand, not physically, but in your mind, against the reef's warm, ancient surface. You feel its quiet pulse. You feel the echo of centuries. And in that touch, a quiet truth emerges. The reef does not cling to its memories. It simply carries them, and it grows anyway. Let that echo rest inside you. Let it soften your thoughts. Let it reassure you that your own memories, even the difficult ones, can be carried gently without being held too tightly. The question doesn't need an answer. It simply invites you to settle deeper into yourself, into breath, into quiet, into rest. The reef remembers. And now, as the night deepens around you, it remembers with you, softly, patiently, peacefully. Night has always been a teacher. It simplifies the world, quiets the noise, and reveals truths that daylight sometimes scatters. In the reef, nighttime is not a pause, but a lesson, a slow unfolding of rhythms that speak without sound. Imagine drifting over a section of coral now wrapped in shadow. The bright colors of daytime have faded into motionless blues and muted greens. Fish hover in place, their bodies rocking gently with the water's pulse. Feather stars fold inward. Anemones soften their grip. Everything is moving towards stillness. In this muted world, the reef listens. It listens to the currents brushing softly over its ridges. It listens to the tiny vibrations of creatures settling into rest. It listens to the faint crackle of distant shrimp, a sound like soft static that threads through the dark. Night teaches the reef patience. It teaches renewal. It teaches that not everything must happen in bright, visible motion. During the day, the reef dazzles with color and activity. Every creature seems busy, feeding, exploring, defending territory, playing roles in the ceaseless choreography of life. But at night, there is nothing to prove, nothing to perform. The reef allows itself to simply exist. As you drift closer, feel the way the darkness wraps around you like warm fabric. There's no urgency in it, no sharpness, just a gentle reminder that even the most vibrant worlds require rest. The night teaches the reef how to restore itself, how to conserve energy, how to let growth pause so healing can begin. In this near silence, organisms repair microscopic tears in their tissues, process nutrients gathered during daylight, and prepare quietly for the next cycle of sun. You might feel that echo inside yourself, how the quiet moments of your own life, the ones that arrive after long days, difficult conversations, or heavy thoughts, allow you to repair in ways you cannot see. Rest is not an interruption, it is a continuation, a lesson nature teaches again and again. Tonight, as you drift above the resting reef, let its nighttime wisdom seep into your breath. You don't have to carry the weight of daylight here. You don't have to glow or achieve or move quickly. You can simply be. And in that simple being, healing begins, softly and without rush. The night teaches the reef, and tonight it teaches you too. There comes a moment deep in the night, a quiet tipping point, when the reef stops shifting and settles fully into rest. The currents slow, the light dims to its faintest blue. The water becomes thick with stillness, as if even the ocean has closed its eyes. This is when the water grows still. Imagine floating just above a coral shelf, your body held gently by the ocean's subdued embrace. The movements you felt earlier, swirling plankton, darting fish, rippling shadows, have softened into long, slow breaths of motion. You can almost count the seconds between each shift in the water, as though the entire reef has synchronized with a single calm pulse. Small fish press deeper into their shelters, their fins barely twitching. Crabs curl into their burrows and stop stirring the sand. Even the bioluminescent creatures dim slightly, their glow pulsing faintly like embers preparing to rest. Stillness is not emptiness. It is a fullness without interruption. If you place your attention on the water around you, you might sense how dense and comforting it feels, a soft weight, a gentle pressure that wraps you like a warm blanket. This is the ocean's version of silence, not absence, but completeness. When the water grows still, the reef enters a phase of deep equilibrium. Tides slow their pull, currents lose their urgency. The temperature of the water settles into a steady, comforting coolness. Everything simply is. You might feel your body respond instinctively, your shoulders lowering, your breath deepening, your thoughts stretching out into longer, quieter spaces. You are sinking with the reef's deepest rest. This stillness invites introspection not through effort, but through presence. Nothing reaches for your attention. Nothing demands your energy. The world has narrowed to soft blue darkness, a steady heartbeat of ocean, and the floating quiet that surrounds you. Let this stillness settle into your bones. Let it remind you that slowing down is not a luxury. It is a natural rhythm shared by every living being. Even oceans need moments of perfect pause. As you drift through this quiet, the boundary between your body and the water begins to blur. You are no longer floating in the stillness. You are part of it. The water grows still, and you grow still with it. Every journey through nature eventually leads back to the self. Not abruptly, not with noise, but with a gradual, gentle turning, like a tide that has gone out for hours and now returns quietly to the shore. Tonight, as the reef settles into its calmest state, the tide inside you begins to shift. Subtly, softly, with no demands. Imagine drifting upward slowly, rising just enough to see the wide sweep of the reef beneath you. It lies still, a darkened mosaic of life resting beneath the moonlit water. Everything that was bright and active earlier in the night has settled into peaceful shapes, barely moving except when the faintest current brushes past. Your mind, too, begins to return to its resting shapes. You are no longer following fish, or watching corals bloom, or drifting with glowing creatures. You are returning gently to yourself. As you ascend, the water lightens slightly. Not much, just enough to feel like a signal that the deep exploration has given what it needed to give. The ocean does not push you back toward your own thoughts. It accompanies you. The tide returning is not a reversal. It is an integration. Everything you witnessed, the ancient patience of coral, the drifting grace of jellyfish, the cooperation of quiet creatures, the harmony of currents, comes back with you in softer, quieter forms. You carry the reef now, not literally, but in its lessons. That breath can be gentle, that growth can be slow, that rest can be intelligent, that life renews itself quietly. As you drift upward, imagine the water around you cupping your body like two calm hands. You are guided, not lifted. You are supported, not pushed. You are gently carried toward the surface of your own awareness. Your breathing becomes your anchor again, rising and falling like a tide on a quiet shore. Inhale the vastness of the ocean. Exhale the softness of the night. When you reach the place between the reef and the surface, that suspended middle, you pause, held in total quiet. You feel lighter, warmer, more yourself. This is the soft tide back to you, not rushed, not forced, simply a gentle return. Let it carry you, let it gather you, let it settle you into a peaceful awareness of your own presence. You are drifting back, but you are not leaving anything behind. You are returning with calm. The night water has grown so still that drifting feels less like movement and more like floating in a soft, endless cradle. You are suspended in blue darkness, weightless, gently held by the ocean that has sheltered life for millions of years. Here, motion is optional. Even thinking feels optional. Imagine your body becoming lighter with each breath. Inhale, and the water around you seems to lift. Exhale, and you sink just a fraction, as if settling deeper into a soft bed of currents. The reef beneath you is in its deepest sleep now, not absence, but peaceful silence. Parrotfish rest in transparent mucus cocoons that protect them from predators. Sea cucumbers lie still, their bodies long and relaxed across the sand. Small fish nestle into coral pockets, their trembling fins calming into soft, steady rhythms. Everything is unhurried. Even the bioluminescence has dimmed to faint whisper glows, tiny pulses barely visible, like leftover starlight caught in the water. As you drift, the water feels warmer in some pockets, cooler in others. Each subtle shift touches your skin with the gentleness of a quiet hand smoothing a blanket. There's no direction here, no destination, only the experience of being carried, supported, rocked by a world that does not ask for anything in return. If you listen closely, not with your ears, but with your whole awareness, you may feel the ocean's hum. A low, steady presence, a reminder that you are part of something vast, ancient, and peaceful. Tonight, you drift with the night water the way plankton drift upward, the way sand settles, the way coral polyps open and close in the darkness. There is no wrong way to drift, no wrong way to rest, no wrong way to let go. Let your breath guide you, slow, deep, fluid. Let the water beneath you feel like a cradle. Let the water around you feel like protection. Let the water above you feel like soft, endless sky. Nothing in the ocean judges your pace. Nothing hurries you. Nothing pulls you away from calm. You are drifting. You are safe. You are held. And the night water carries you deeper into rest. Even in silence, the reef continues to breathe, an ancient, rhythmic pulse that moves through every coral branch, every drifting creature, every pocket of water warmed by the moonlight above. You can't hear it in the usual sense, but you can feel it, the way you feel your own heartbeat when the world becomes quiet. Imagine floating just above a wide coral plateau. The water rises slightly, a soft inhale, then falls, a slow exhale, barely noticeable, but present, steady, reassuring. This is not the reef breathing in the literal sense. It is the movement of tides, currents, and microscopic life-exchanging energy in perfect, quiet harmony. A biological lullaby that has continued unchanged for millions of years. As you hover there, your own breath begins to match it. Inhale gently. Exhale slowly. Your chest lifts and falls like gentle waves brushing against a shore. In this moment, you and the reef are breathing together. Fish that have tucked themselves into crevices shift in their dreams. Soft coral polyps sway just a little with the rhythm of the water. Feather stars curl in upon themselves, conserving energy until dawn. Every creature rests within its own pattern, but all move with the same deep, fluid cadence. The sleeping reef is never completely still. Life continues beneath the calm, tiny exchanges of gases, faint pulses of movement, small vibrations carried through the water. This tranquil busyness murmurs beneath your awareness, like the quiet rustling of blankets in a peaceful room. There is comfort in this ancient breath. It asks for nothing. It simply is, constant, patient, present. Let yourself breathe with the reef. Let your inhales soften your body. Let your exhales release the remnants of your day. Let your breath become the tide, gentle, repetitive, soothing. Nothing else matters in this moment. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. Just breath, just calm. Just the steady heartbeat of the reef moving through the dark. Tonight, the reef breathes softly, and you breathe with it, perfectly in rhythm. Even in deep night, the ocean never falls into total darkness. It keeps a few threads of light, soft, wandering glows from creatures that drift like forgotten embers through the quiet water. Imagine these tiny lights rising into view, one by one. A faint blue pulse, a flicker of green, a slow, wavering shimmer. Not bright enough to illuminate the reef, just bright enough to soften the shadows. These glimmers come from the smallest beings, tiny plankton, slow-moving comb jellies, microorganisms swirling at the edges of the current. Their bodies glow gently when disturbed, creating ripples of color that fade almost as soon as they appear. It is light with no urgency, light with no sharp edges, light that soothes instead of startles. As you drift among these soft glows, imagine them brushing against your skin, tiny sparks dissolving into warmth. Each flicker feels like a thought passing through your mind and fading gently into quiet. Some lights drift upward, like slow-motion sparks from a campfire. Some drift downward like falling petals. Some float aimlessly, carried by currents that move with all the decisiveness of a deep sigh. These wandering lights paint the darkness with softness. They do not resist the night. They move with it, rest within it, glow because of it. Tonight, you are drifting through these threads of light as though passing through a quiet dream. They do not ask you to follow them. They do not ask you to notice them. Their glow is simply present, gentle ambiance in the vast underwater dark. Let this soft illumination warm your thoughts. Let it brighten the edges of your awareness just enough to feel comfort, not effort. Let these drifting sparks remind you that even in deep rest, small lights remain. You don't need to wake to see them. You don't need to seek them. They find you gently, the way good memories do. The reef sleeps, the ocean rests, and these tiny lights drift with you, soft companions for the journey inward. The ocean at night feels infinite, not in a way that overwhelms, but in a way that reassures. Like a great dark blanket draped across the world, holding every creature, every drifting particle, every rising bubble, every breath you take. Imagine hovering just far enough above the reef to see its outlines stretched beneath you, like a quiet landscape. The coral structures, now only soft shapes, appear like mountains smoothed by shadow. The sand glows faintly. The water is thick with calm. Above you, the surface reflects the moon in a trembling silver shimmer. Below you, the reef sleeps. Around you, the ocean holds everything. This night is not empty. It is full of softness, full of breath, full of quiet life resting in perfect equilibrium. Everything belongs here. Everything is safe here. Everything is gently supported by the water's slow embrace. As you float in this vastness, you might notice how the sense of self begins to blur. You are not separate from the reef, not separate from the water, not separate from the quiet around you. The ocean doesn't demand that you define yourself. It doesn't ask you to be anything other than present. Here, thoughts drift more slowly. Tension dissolves more easily. Nothing holds tightly, nothing resists. This night, the night holding the entire reef, holds you too. It allows space for every part of you, your breath, your worries, your hopes, your exhaustion, your softness. There is room for it all in this vast, calming dark. Let the ocean hold you the way it holds every creature resting beneath the waves. Let it cradle you with its quiet depth. Let it steady you with its ancient patience. You are suspended in a night that welcomes everything and pushes nothing away. There is no rush, no expectation, only calm. Let yourself sink deeper into this night that holds everything, until your own thoughts feel as far away and gentle as the shifting currents. You have drifted through coral gardens, past ancient structures, alongside glowing drifters, and into the quiet heart of the reef. Now the journey dissolves, not ending abruptly, but fading the way waves pull gently back from shore. The water is softer now, the reef quieter, your mind slower. Everything that once shimmered with motion now rests under a blanket of still blue. You hover above it, wrapped in the ocean's calm, breathing in a rhythm as old as the tides. In this final stretch, the reef teaches its last quiet truth. Everything flows. Currents flow. Light flows. Life flows from one form to another, from one moment to the next. Nothing in the wild stays rigid. Nothing clings tightly. Everything moves with grace through cycles of becoming and resting. This flow is not demanding, it is patient. A river that waits for you, an ocean that understands. As you drift, imagine letting your thoughts flow too, like water moving between coral branches, softening all sharp corners, smoothing all roughness, carrying tension away grain by grain. The reef does not resist the flow. It moves with it, learns from it, grows because of it. And tonight, you drift with that same effortless motion. There is nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to solve, nothing left to do but breathe. Feel your breath becoming slower now, like the settling tide. Inhale, gentle fullness. Exhale, deeper release. Let the night wrap around you one final time. Let the quiet of the reef settle into your body. Let the softness of the ocean guide you toward rest. And now, the final lines, the ones that close every journey in this world of soft, wild calm. Everything flows through the wild. Sleep in that motion. The reef sleeps. The night holds you, and you drift peacefully into rest.